and I'm thankful to be coming back and be welcomed in this second wave of heavy music and a deathcore genre. I'm very fortunate and lucky that the band is here. I mean, I'll be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. I mean, the amount of sacrifices we took to stay here, and people came back, the bands and stuff like that. But it's right here.
Well, you don't seem like a bitter person, though, despite all of that.
No, no. I mean, my thing, which it might rub people off the wrong way, but I want this shit. Especially, I mean, obviously, I'm in a deathcore band, so I have a soft spot for it. But I want this genre to get big. I want to bring this ship up as high as possible. I don't give a fuck what band does it. If it's us, Lorna Shore, I don't fucking care. Any band that gets big, you have Spirit Box doing cool shit. Sure. I saw them last night. I'm like, if a heavy band gets big, great. And there's this shit behind the scenes, dude. It just fucking pisses me off. There's like this big dick contest constantly going off. Like,
right.
Oh, like they won't play with this band, or like the logo has to be bigger on the flyer. They got a cool headline. They have a headline. It's just like, dude, it's all this bullshit. And that it's such a pet peeve for me, dude. My pet peeves for that, not building a genre and dishonesty in music. Those are my pet fucking peeves, dude. And it's comes mostly from like the older heads. Like the older, I guess you could say, deathcore bands maybe, but the newer bands coming up are there's a camaraderie, and it's really cool to see them helping each other, which I wish I had that back in the day, but everyone was just trying to one up each other. And, so my thing is, I want to use myself and the band name on this upswing to I want to bring up as many bands as possible. We could do a cool tour, a cool fucking tour package, and I mean, do it, great, but man, some of these bands, you just prevent that from happening, and it fucking pisses me off.
Well, it does feel to me like deathcore is in a place now that reminds me of like 2009 MySpace days, with Lorna Shore and Slaughtered Prevail and a lot of the other bands that are, kind of bubbling up. And it feels like there's kind of energy and stuff that hasn't been there for a long time, since you guys really were the ones who made that happen the first time.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, it's always kind of shocking. Like a lot of, which is a story I've been telling pretty often now, but like it's my fault. Like I did a pretty horrible job, running the band behind the scenes, back in the day. We did a pretty terrible job at telling our story, so no one really knows like the history of us or how we started. Now you're in a point where like no one really knows where the deathcore scene started, because we never talked about it, but man,
nobody cared about it back then. Like nobody wanted to know about it. The press, the media, they didn't give a shit, because it was just kids in the IE doing this thing that nobody else really understood or liked. Mm-hmm. It was very very unwelcome in the metal media back then.
Oh yeah,
so like who would you even told?
Yeah, true.
Right? It's not like Kerrang wanted to talk about it in 2007.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, it's so fucking, it's cool. I mean, that's obviously the goal, but to see bands, put out their first record now or stream a song now, and this gets fucking picked up like that, and all these streams and great press, and there's this fan base and that welcomes them. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool.
It's awesome.
I mean, it's like shit. Like when we were playing deathcore, there was no shows to play. Like it was us, and luckily, when I met Mitch, he like had an inn at the Showcase Theater 3 miles down, which you don't know Showcase. It's a legendary venue here. He knew people that worked there, and we have friends in a hardcore band. Shout out to Gabe Ochoa. He sang for a band called Bound on Blood. He started throwing us on all his shows, and that's kind of what started like us playing hardcore shows. And we either play a death metal show or a hardcore show, and then out of nowhere, Job for a Cowboy came out, and we kind of both were like bubbling up at the same time. It was a really special time. But when we first came out, like we're talking demos EP days. I mean, I think we talked about it already, but the copycats, it's fucking
right,
like nationwide, dude. Like
hundreds of them, not like 5. It was nuts. Like 100. Maybe probably nuts. More than 100.
Yeah. I mean, back then I was bitter about it. I was like, what the fuck is going on? But I mean, obviously that stems from like insecurity. You're young. You don't really I could barely talk back then. It's just,
Right.
but now it's like, it's fucking really cool to see when I see a band, do anything. I'm like, that's fucking sick. Holy shit. Look at what we did. That's fucking insane. But my beef with the bands back then, and a couple actually still do it, currently. The big bands are signed, but, this weird thing, like a lot of them won't even give us props for it.